Sometimes you find the motivation to race hard, and sometimes it just finds you. This was Evo CC racing Going Coastal. I wasn't supposed to be in this race. I was actually racing a small field crit around downtown Dolphin. My wife called me to help out putting the kids to bed, so I jumped off the bike, got back in when there was a minute and a half to go before this race started, which is also why I wasn't prepared to be on camera, even though I forgot my camera was on, so please excuse the cartoon Zwifter. My main goal tonight was to try out my new Zwift Play controllers, see what stereo was like in a real race and press all the buttons, but as you'll see, I got a little bit more than I bargained for. This was an incredibly sedate start, so just over 2k's in I thought, why not? Let's try the steering out, let's see if we can get a little bit of a brake formation phase going and see what happens. What happened was they let me get out to 9 seconds, essentially unchallenged, and when Schlinge from France jumped across, even though it was early days, I had the feeling that this could go all the way. He gets onto my wheel after I've been out the front for about 3.5 kilometers on my own. I'm only too happy to let him take over for a little bit here and just see what happens with this gap, which has got out to over 15 seconds. I wanted to talk a little bit about the psychology of a brake situation like this at this point. You can see by the distance markers on the right hand side that we've got about a 300 meter gap on the chasers, and at the speeds that we're doing, that's going to be a good 2 to 3 minute effort for them to close, even if they can get a 5, 6, 7 kilometer an hour speed advantage over the two of us. So I see Bass jump here. I don't have the legs to go hard for the final 8.6 kilometers, but I don't need to. All I need to do is to match his effort, because for me the effort ends as soon as his effort ends. For him, he knows that he has to go an extra 3 minutes on top of everything that he's done just to close that gap. And so if it's staying static and he really doesn't feel like he's winning, he's getting any closer, he knows that there's still another 3 minute effort to go beyond the point when it starts to close. I use this tactic 2 or 3 times here in this final 8 kilometers. It means that I don't have to put in a sustained effort to maintain this break. All I have to do is match the surges for a little bit of time and break the spirit of the guys who are trying to bridge this gap. This moment here at 3.3 kilometers to go doesn't look like much, but this is actually where the race is over. We can see Noel, his wattage comes off. That's the final attempt to bridge this gap. We've held them off. They're convinced that they can't close it. Now it's time to focus on our remaining opponent. So I've sized him up, and throughout the race I can see that, when we're equal on watts per kilo, I'm surging ahead of him, so I can tell that he's a lighter guy. Even when he was bridging across to me early on, I don't think I saw red numbers at all, so he strikes me as a bit of a time trialist. He's enjoying this hit out, but I think I've got the sprint if I can sit on and I can go in those final few hundred meters. At this point you can see that I've refused to do a turn ever since the peloton gave up the chase. I think this was his final dig to try and shake me off. I was able to hold on and then kick in those final couple of 100 meters with an aero power up and the steering to help me to get the win. I got to sit up and enjoy this one in the end. I hope you enjoyed seeing a breakaway, getaway and get the win, and a little bit of a deep dive into the psychology of riding in a break. I'll catch you next time.